Hello and welcome back to the letter. When we last left off, Hannah and Luke were throwing a housewarming party, which has now been suddenly crashed. How much has she imbibed in...
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as whispers and murmurs break out among the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment. Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of alcohol in her breath. I'm not ticked off about this little display of hers, at least not yet. But I am absolutely pissed by the fact that she'd endanger her own baby by drinking. This is, by the way, what her friend that she's mentioned a couple of times, the wife of the police detective. There is a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir.
Yay!
What is even going on?
I'm just about to ask that exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lee! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass! You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk! That's all it is! Just completely and utterly mad! Has anyone seen the Chief Inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard! You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Okay, just note using multiple playthrough knowledge. While I have no doubt he cheated on Hannah and probably with Rochelle, I don't think he'd ever promise that he'd take care of a kid. Luke does not want kids at all.
God damn it, Luke! I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me!
What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me! I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
She, in fact, does want kids, but it's Luke who doesn't.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
It is now that Johans returns with security along with a concerned-looking Officer Lee. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he's heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man. Not that I believe Rochelle. Luke will never go so far as to sleep with another woman, right? Right?
I'm so sorry for her behaviour. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol. Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing here but the ramblings of a drunk?
That's not true. Is it, Luke? Please tell me she's just lost the plot.
Don't be a blooming muppet, Hannah. Of course she's lying, creating a scandal for attention.
A blooming muppet. It's like stuff like that really kind of endears me to Luke, even though he is scum.
If the baby isn't Lee's, she's probably gotten herself knocked up by one of her employees, and she's accusing me for money! Fuck! How stupid can you be?
Excuse me! I just wanted to hear your word. There's no need for such crass language.
Yes, there is a need for such fucking crass language, because you've been nothing but a pain recently.
Whoa.
I told you not to invite her, and look what she's done. And not just recently, for a while in fact. I'm sick and tired of having to look after your clingy, spoiled ass. You've been derailing my schedule and my plans, questioning my priorities and my decisions. You can be worse than a hormonal pregnant woman at times even. How touched in the head are you that I need to hold your hand?
Speak no more. We are done here, and we'll talk about these matters in privacy.
Privacy.
Now.
No, why don't we hash it all out here? Because every time we talk about our problems in private, you start crying your fucking eyes out.
I should have expected this of Luke. To put us in the limelight, thinking I will back down because we have an audience. Well, he has another thing coming for him, doesn't he? I am just as livid as he is because of his disrespect. Our happy marriage is quickly crumbling under our own 2 feet, yet I can't give a rat's arse. If this is how it goes, so be it.
You dare!
I dare, Buttercup, because I've kept quiet about this.
Oh, you've kept quiet about it? How rich!
Yes!
No, I've had enough of this! Do you think I don't see when you try to creep up some whore and get up her skirt? You would be nothing without me. Your company would be buried in debt and you'd be begging on the streets if it weren't for me!
She lies! Don't listen to her!
That is in fact true. She's the one with the business savvy that helped get Luke's company out of debt, and then she pretty much got married and said, I'm gonna be a housewife.
And I've had enough of you. So guess what? Fuck you, Luke.
We agreed to never talk of this woman!
Did we? I don't remember, but it's all true. Wright Enterprise would be nothing but a precautionary tale if Evans Incorporated didn't agree to merge into a conglomerate. You asked that we keep your family name because you said it was so important to you. Your legacy. I agreed because, damn it, Luke, I loved you and I still do. But all you really want is the money and the power's all gone to your head. Face it, Lucille Mitchell Wright. You owe me everything.
Please, 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 never name your son Lucille. Just name him Luke, for Christ's sake. Jesus.
I owe you everything. I owe you everything? Who's running the business now while you sit at home like a pretty princess?
If I recall, you told me to retire so that I can enjoy my time as Mrs. Luke Wright.
I wouldn't even bother with other women if you were still Hannah Evans. You used to be your own woman. You used to be someone who I could fucking look up to. Now look at you. If I wanted some brainless bint, I'd go to the whorehouse and play any old strumpet like a fucking fiddle. That's all you are now. A brainless, good-for-nothing...
Bitch slapped. A slap echoes in the ballroom. I didn't even realize that I've lifted my hand against him. Not until he's already clutching his reddened cheek, eyes wide and unspoken curses hanging from his lips.
That's it! This party is over! Everybody leave before I have you all thrown out!
There is a shuffling as the near-forgotten audience can't decide whether they are to mill about and wait for what might happen next, or do as instructed. Their minds are made up for them as Luke storms toward the doors, slams them open, and roars.
Go!
And as if they are awakened from a trance, the crowd starts to leave one by one. Some of the nosier ones, media and the like, tried to stay, but they are eventually dragged away by security. They slowly trickle out, from the busboys and the waiters to the musicians and the bartender. Even our butler leaves us, closing the door to the ballroom shut behind him. Then and there, I don't know what to say. Should I apologize for striking him? Yet every part of me is still shaking in anger. I want to scream every bit of hatred I have for him, every ounce of bitterness, things I couldn't say before. But I also feel tired.
Oh, Hannah! What am I going to do with you?
He laughs. Laughs. Before I can respond, he leaves. To where, I don't know. I'll never find out as I don't have the courage to follow him, or leave this room. Slumping into the nearest chair, all I can see is his face, red and wide-eyed. His empty laugh echoes over and over again. Only the walls act as my audience now, and they can feel their accusing eyes burn into me. There will be no sleep tonight. October 29th, Saturday. And come morning as we breakfast, the meal is silent and strained. I cut too deeply into my sausages and almost excuse myself. Had I not spied Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. Conversation is terse, though that is no big surprise. What else can you say after you verbally lashed out at each other in public? Apologies seem like trifle things now in comparison to what transpired last night. I'm not the one to rush when eating, but withdrawing sounds like the best course of action. I can leave the dining hall, hold myself up somewhere where I won't be bothered. And he has work today. I almost have gotten away with it, too, if he did not speak up all of a sudden.
Hold on, wait. Don't go just yet. Please.
What is it, Lucille?
I have thought upon it that perhaps I am at fault for what happened yesterday and for your frustrations. I have been a neglectful husband, and if you would still have me, I hope to correct that. There's not much to do today for me, and I was hoping that we might be able to talk it out. If you are willing to still work it out with me, you will have my afternoon.
Just your afternoon?
He stands and approaches with steps, careful and wary. He treats me as if I'll take flight at any moment, and it'll be ridiculous if I don't find it even a tiny bit endearing. And when he stands before me, he takes both my hands into his, ready with the declaration.
You will have my afternoon and every moment after for the rest of your life, if you are willing.
I hate it. I hate how he can easily make me fall in love with him all over again.
Just this one chance. If you don't show up, I may very well just pack my bags and go, you hear me?
Loud and clear. Off to work I go then. Until later, Buttercup.
His grip is tight as he kisses my hand before letting it fall. I feel lighter in spite of it all. That leaves me the rest of the day with nothing, really. I thought I'll have to spend it making plans to leave this house and him, but instead he has me worrying and feeling relieved at the same time. It's quite paradoxical. I still have plans to eschew everything and everyone until the afternoon, which is proving to be quite difficult as, everywhere I look, Johann seems to appear out of thin air. I love our butler along with his wonderful husband and 2 darling children, but he never seems to understand the concept of privacy or personal space at the worst of times. The man is often quiet, even while he works, and I can forget that he's there with no trouble. It's the principle of things, however.
What are you doing?
He's told me to look after you. This isn't going to turn out well, you know.
Pardon?
You should just leave. If I were you, I'd left a long time ago. You have the choice to do so, you know.
It's actually this moment that really kinda... Because Johann's, as you'll see later, isn't a nice person. He's not as bad as Luke, but still pretty bad. But here he's like, yo, you need to get out now. The shit's about to hit the fan.
Not everyone does.
And I also think part of the reason he works for Luke is because it doesn't say it in game. Like, I actually had to go digging around on like the Kickstarter webpage, and it's apparently he used to be a doctor, but some scandal shit happened, and he basically ended up getting away with it, but he has to work for Luke.
Is that what you've been stalking me all morning for? To tell me to leave my husband?
It is not going to turn out well, mein Freund.
Looking back at Johann's, I see his usually indifferent expression painted with concern. He still stands tall and his body betrays no emotion. But his mouth is set into a grim, harsh line, and there's a slight furrow in his brow, curious and minute details that one won't find unless they care to look. And these little things trouble me. Still, if he believes that I will leave when Luke has extended an olive branch to me, well, he's wrong.
And that's your opinion, Johannes.
It's a fucking fact, Hannah.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to be left alone with my thoughts, please.
If you'd like privacy, I suggest finding it somewhere else then. Somewhere outside the house, maybe?
I'm going to my room. Tell Luke that I'll be waiting for him there.
I'd really rather not.
That's an order, Johannes.
The remaining hours pass with little fanfare, as my wish to be alone is respected. I only see Johannes again when he brings me my supper. Bouillabaisse along with squid ink brioche, something that I haven't requested, but I'm grateful nonetheless. Nothing about that sounds or looks appealing. And once more after that to clear my plates away and inform me that Luke is back home.
Honey, I'm home.
Hearing him call for me fills me with a certain dread for reasons I can't comprehend. Perhaps I am just nervous about this little talk of ours. Yet something at the back of my head is nagging at me. It is irrational, but I feel myself freeze in trepidation. I have to will myself to breathe when I am conscious of the fact that I've been holding it in.
Darling, love, Buttercup, why aren't you answering?
It is with unease that I answer.
Upstairs, Luke!
There is a moment when I am nothing but a bundle of nerves. His footsteps echo from the hallway, and the creak of the door sends chills down my spine.
Here I am expecting a warm welcome home, and here you are locked up in the room like a shut-in. Oh, Hannah, what am I to do with you? You're looking a little bit pale. Are you all right?
I must have had something funny, actually. Maybe from the party last night. Maybe breakfast or lunch.
Is it the bouillabaisse or the brioche?
Johannes had been acting really strangely while you were gone. Do you think?
Do I think what? That he poisoned you? Don't be silly. He wouldn't do such a thing unless I tell him to.
Dun dun dun. He jokes and laughs. That does nothing to ease my nausea and only makes my stomach churn even more. I try to smile and laugh along, but I cannot put on a fake face this time. Guess what ending she's getting? Noticing my discomfort, he pulls me into his arms. In his hold, I feel safe. Or I should be, at least. But there is still a stirring restlessness inside me.
Don't you worry. If you are sick, I'll take care of you myself. I did tell you that you'll have my afternoon and every moment after for as long as you live, didn't I? I am just so worried about my poor wifey. That Rochelle woman had some nerve, and I've insulted your honor so. My poor wifey has been through so much.
It is when I feel his hold turn painfully tight that the dread turns into fear.
My poor, spoiled wifey, Hannah fucking Evans. Silver spoon in her mouth, never had to lift a finger in her goddamn life. Poor wifey trying to ruin everything for me. All that I've worked so hard for. She'll just take it all away. Just like that. We've got to fix that. You know, you and I, we have to make sure you don't pull a dodgy stunt like the one you did last night. Even if we have to take you out of the picture permanently.
It is as he presses something sharp to my back that I realize far, far too late what he holds in his hands.
Why are you doing this?
My life is in his hands, held hostage at a knife's edge.
Because, Hannah, darling, it's never enough. I want it all.
And he wishes to end it. Does he not love me anymore? No. Have our ties eroded so badly that he'll even go this far? Yes. This is preposterous, surreal. Yet here I am, frozen in his embrace while he holds a knife to my back. The very man I loved and trusted the most is the one to kill me. And sadly enough, this is the longest he's held me in a long while. It is a contradiction, both beautiful and horrific. How did it come to this?
You don't have to do this. You can still have it all, Luke. Just please. Don't you love me?
That makes him pause.
Oh, I still do, Hannah. I do love you, but you're outliving your usefulness. In fact, you're becoming a pain in the arse, just like your dear old dad. Now I'm doing you a favor, and you'll be with him again. Real soon.
Dignity and grace is forgotten as I become a blubbering mess, begging to be spared. Please spill from my lips prayers to Luke for his mercy, because please, I don't want to go. I'm not ready to go. I still want a family, our family, and I want to do more. I can't help but cry about the things that could have, should have been, a husband, children, and a home. But I am going to be cut short. My pleading falls on deaf ears. And although I don't feel it immediately, the way he loosens his hold on me says as much. There is no pain at first, only shock, until a dull throbbing radiates from my back. It's like an itch that I can't reach, which gets worse and worse until it is all I can focus on. I panic as the pain becomes too much to bear, and I wish nothing else but for death to consume me now. My body spasms, trembling and shaking, and the pain fires up anew, and Luke, the monster, twists the knife deeper. Breathing is next to impossible. Every time I try, it only feels like I'm drowning. Soon enough, I taste blood on my tongue like copper, yet both salty and sweet. And here I am, laughing like a bloody loon, though my laughter is nothing more than a wet, raspy chuckle. Slowly, I am losing myself.
What's so funny?
Deeper and deeper yet. He starts laughing.
We would have been so cute.
I drown in his laughter. You've unlocked a memory fragment that I've already unlocked all of them. And that's the end of Chapter 2. In Chapter 3, we're going to be controlling Zack. Just to kind of give you the lowdown, Hannah also has 3 endings she can have. One is she's alive, one she's dead that we just saw, and one is she's possessed. One thing I do like is you can, like, Luke, don't get me wrong, he's evil, but this is a case of the love. If you play it to where Hannah and Luke really get along and they're still in love with each other, it's kind of like he's a monster to everyone except his wife because he loves her so much. And I don't know, maybe a little bit redemption for him, just a little. He's still going to hell, but just a little. Anyway, that'll be it for this episode. When we next start up, we'll be doing Chapter 3. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.